Founders Academy is a 3-part learning journey designed around the real stages of company building. Lesson 10. Let's go to market. By the end of this lesson, you will understand what a go-to-market engine actually is, design the first version of your GTM strategy, choose the right go-to-market motion for your product, identify the highest leverage channels for early traction, build a GTM system that scales with the company, build a repeatable acquisition spiral, and measure the right leading indicators. Many founders can build a product. Very few can move it to the world systematically. Go-to-market is where ideas either turn into a business or quietly stall. Many founders assume GTM is marketing. It isn't. Marketing is one tool inside a much larger system. This lesson is about building that system deliberately, so growth is repeatable rather than accidental. Early growth often feels deceptively healthy. The founder closes the first customers personally. Early deals come through networks. Inbound interest appears encouraging. Progress feels real. Then, quietly, things slow down. Each new customer requires more effort than the last. Sales cycles stretch. Marketing spend increases without proportional return. The founder works harder, but growth feels heavier rather than lighter. I have seen this pattern repeat across stages and markets. The problem is rarely the lack of demand. It is that growth never moved from human effort to a system that compounds on its own. This lesson is about designing that system. Section 1. From closing deals to extracting the pattern. Founder-led growth is not a mistake. It is often necessary. Founders sell early because they understand the problem deeply, can adapt messaging in real time, and build trust rapidly. The risk appears when founder-led growth never evolves. If only the founder can explain the value clearly, handle objections, or close deals, the company becomes fragile. Growth is capped by one person's time and energy. Strong founders do not remove themselves prematurely. Instead, they observe carefully. They notice who buys, why they buy, which language resonates, and which objections appear consistently. Over time, they turn intuition into structure. Repeatable growth begins the moment someone else can succeed using the same logic. Section 2. Choosing the right go-to-market motion. There is no universally correct go-to-market model. There is only alignment. Growth breaks when founders copy a motion that worked elsewhere without understanding why it worked. At a high level, most companies scale through one of 3 primary motions. Some succeed through product-led growth, where users experience value quickly and expand usage naturally. This works when the product explains itself and the path to value is short. Others require sales-led growth, where trust, explanation, and justification matter more than speed. This is common when problems are complex, expensive, or high risk. A third group scales through partner-led growth, where customers already trust intermediaries, such as platforms, institutions, or ecosystem partners, and distribution is fragmented or relationship-driven. Problems arise when founders mix these motions too early or force the wrong one. A sales-heavy motion layered onto a self-serve product slows momentum. A product-led motion forced into a trust-based purchase stalls conversion. Go-to-market is not about preference. It is about the fit between the product, buyer, and buying process. Section 3. The 5-part GTM engine framework. Every effective GTM engine has 5 core components. 1. A precise target customer, not SMBs, but something specific, like e-commerce founders under $5 million in revenue who struggle with a defined problem and already spend money solving it. Number 2. The value proposition. A single clear sentence that explains why you matter. For a defined customer, you help them do something specific so they can achieve a clear outcome, unlike the alternatives they already use. Number 3, your channels. These are the places you reliably find customers. Channels fall into 3 categories. Owned channels, like content or email. earned channels like referrals or PR, and paid channels like ads or sponsorship. Early stage companies should choose 1 or 2 channels at most. 4. Your conversion path. This is the written journey from stranger to lead to user to paying customer. If it is not written down step by step, it does not exist. 5. The retention loop. High retention makes GTM efficient. Low retention turns GTM into expensive chaos. Your first go-to-market strategy should be simple, tight, and fast to test. GTM version 1 is not about scale, it is about signal. The process starts by identifying one beachhead customer. You then choose one primary channel to reach them. Next, you design one repeatable conversion flow. You set one weekly target metric that reflects real behavior, not activity. You test this system for 4 to 6 weeks and iterate based on what you learn. GTM version 1 exists to teach you what works, not to impress anyone. The right early channel is not the trendiest one. It is the one where your customers already spend time, where you can reach them cheaply, and where everything can be measured, and where you have some form of unfair advantage. For consumer products, this might be short-form video, paid social, referral loops, or micro-influencer collaborations. For B2B products, it often looks like founder-led content, direct outreach, warm introductions, niche communities, or webinars and partnerships. The best early channel is usually the one you, as a founder, can execute with the least friction. The key takeaway here is that go-to-market is not a marketing strategy. Early GTM must be simple and focused. One customer and one channel create early repeatability. Section 6. Acquisition spirals. Now let's spend a little time on acquisition spirals. Strong companies do not rely on random marketing. A content spiral turns posts into followers, followers into reach into customers, and customers into stories that fuel more content. A referral spiral turns one satisfied customer into the next. A sales spiral turns outreach into calls, calls into closes, closes into case studies, and case studies into more and more outreach. Spirals compound over time. Campaigns spike and fade, but spirals compound. Find the acquisition spirals in your channel and leverage them. Scalable growth does not move in a straight line. It moves in a spiral. Customers are acquired, activated, retained, and expanded. Each stage reinforces the next. When this loop or spiral holds, growth compounds quietly. When one part breaks, growth becomes expensive and exhausting. Founders often overinvest in acquisition because it is visible and measurable. But activation without activation creates waste. Activation without retention creates churn. Retention without expansion caps revenue. When growth feels heavy, the issue is rarely traffic. It is almost always leakage somewhere in your loop or spiral. Section 7. The Essential GTM Metrics. Early-stage founders often measure leads, but eventually, great founders measure behavior. The most important GTM indicators include 1. Month-over-month user growth. 2. Activation rate. 3. Daily or weekly active usage where relevant. 4. Time to first value. 5. Lead to demo conversion. 6. Demo to close conversion. And 7. Retention across the first weeks of usage. These metrics combined show whether your GTM engine is actually working, not just busy. Section 8. The most common GTM mistakes. Early GTM failures are usually focus failures. Founders target too many customers, try too many channels all at once. They fail to write down the full funnel. They overthink brand before distribution. They rely on paid ads too early. They confuse growth with marketing, or they just ignore retention entirely. Most of these problems are not skill gaps, they are clarity gaps. Most go-to-market systems break in predictable places. 1. Value takes too long to show up, so activation is weak. 2. Users activate but do not stay, so retention decays. 3. Paying customers stay but have no reason to expand, so revenue flattens. Founders often describe this as a growth problem. In reality, it is a system design problem. Until each stage reinforces the next, effort replaces leverage. Now, here's an activity for you. Build your GTM version 1. To make this practical, founders should build their GTM version 1 in one short session. First, define your beachhead customer. Choose your primary channel. Write your first conversion flow from entry point to value moment to purchase. Identify your retention trigger. Set one weekly target metric. This becomes your GTM operating system. The key takeaway from this lesson is that retention is the strongest growth engine. Loops outperform campaigns. In general, scalable growth is not louder. It is quieter, cleaner, and repeatable. When go-to-market depends on heroics, it breaks. When it depends on systems, it compounds. In the next part, we will look at the teams required to support these systems and how founders scale execution without losing clarity or speed.